Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another astrology update. We're going to be looking at the new moon that's taking place in the sign of Leo at 12 degrees. And the sign of Leo, where the new moon is taking place, is ruled by the sun. So this is known as the sun's domicile. It is represented by the lion. It is a fire sign. It is a fixed sign, the sustained fire. And the sign of Leo is often associated with the heart, courage, bravery, theater, drama, expression, and creativity. And when we think about the sign of Leo, we consider the reception of the audience. And so, for whatever area of life for you that is governed by Leo, that's going to be the house that Leo falls into in your chart to do with self expression, creativity, shining a light, something that gains an audience. Because this is when the sun and the moon, of course, this is a new moon, seeds are being planted, new beginnings. That's what new moons are about. Now, the thing about this particular new moon is that it occurs on a day when Venus is going to move from Leo and move into Virgo, the purple glyph. So I'm going to be moving forward by the hour, which is what makes this very interesting and notable and worth mentioning, worth considering when you think about the overall energy of this new moon, what this new beginning is being brought into. So, moving forward by the hour, again, you'll notice Venus will move into Virgo. So right here at 9:13 p.m., so in some time zones, this is also going to be on August 5th, but nevertheless, Venus here at 29 degrees and 59 minutes, and this is what it looks like. The next hour, after the next hour, Venus will already be at 0 degrees and 2 minutes, and that's at 10:13 p.m. in Central Standard Time. So at this point, Venus has moved into Virgo. This is just after the new moon, so the moon is breaking away from the sun, and Venus has moved into the sign of Virgo. Now, the planet that rules Virgo and the planet that is exalted in Virgo is Mercury. Mercury, the messenger. Mercury, the psychopomp. Mercury can go through the underworld, and this is apparently something that gods don't necessarily even do. So these psychopomps in mythology are able to move through the underworld, and there are ways that Mercury is a shapeshifter, and this affords that ability to move through and be conniving and manipulative and mischievous and work around certain obstacles. And this is very mental energy, but in a more grounded way. And so this is a sign that is represented by the Virgin that takes us through the underworld and brings us through on the other side. So that's kind of the psychopomp idea again. Well, Mercury is now hosting Venus just after this new moon. Now she's moving into her fall. This is opposite her exaltation of Pisces. She's moving into her fall, into the sign of Virgo. And it seems like it's okay because Mercury's here, the host is home, and he's in his exaltation, and so he can provide Venus what she needs and support her as she, well, during the Mercury retrograde, Venus is going to be in this sign of the perfectionist, of the self-criticism, and so will very likely be feeling that for the start of this project. Maybe it comes as imposter syndrome. this is too good to be true. There's no way that I could be worthy of this. That's a possibility. That's a nice possibility. It can also be, of course, my work isn't good enough. I'm not achieving in the same way that other people that I admire are, or my successes don't amount to what other people's are looking like. And so there's this judgment of self when Venus is in Virgo. And what's very interesting about this whole sequence of events is not only does Venus enter into this sign of her fall just after the new moon, only hours after that, after Venus moves, you see, I even skipped it. I moved right past it. This was like an hour later, maybe two. Watch what happens with Mercury here with the horns. It turns red. And what happens when a planet turns red like that on the chart is that it's retrograde, this RX. The prescription for Mercury retrograde is, of course, check your emails and be sure you know that the GPS is set to the right place. Expect the trains to not run on time, and whatever else in terms of transportation, communication, information being transferred. I like to think that we can look to the planets as our guides, and so I like to think that this is a very significant time for us to be reviewing, reassessing, redoing, reevaluating, recalculating. This is the time when we're doing things over. And it's doing the new moon over, maybe. If we move forward here, you can see that the moon's going to keep moving forward, and Mercury's actually going down in numbers. It was at 4, now it's at 3. And then by the time we reach August 8th, Mercury and Venus will be together. Mercury will conjoin Venus, going back towards the beginning of the sign of Virgo, and then eventually going into the sign of Leo, where he'll meet with the sun in his domicile and kind of escorting the sun out, allowing the sun to go far ahead, and then finally leaving the sign of Leo before Mars moves into Cancer. The sequence of events is like dominoes, and even just on the very day that the new moon takes place, we have all of this happening with Mercury and Venus as well. So here we have it. This is definitely a new moon that is worthy of the special attention. The new moon, followed by Venus entering into a new sign, which is an energy shift. It goes from fire into earth, where the new moon that just happened is going to be in fire. So the Leo new moon in a fire sign, Venus switching from the fire sign to the earth sign, and Mercury shifting from forward motion to backwards motion. So this new moon, like I said, is kind of a dress rehearsal that prepares us for the new moon that's going to happen in Virgo. That's going to be after a whole lot of other things that happen within the next month. So I imagine we will really start to see what this Uranus and Jupiter conjunction means in the long run, but we have a trial run ahead. And that's what August looks like, is making improvements after the trial run. Almost as though the rocket's going to take off, but maybe it's not going to launch into space. And we have to look at what failures we can make adjustments to and run the checklist, and then relaunch at the new moon in September. So that will be very interesting to look towards. At some point soon, I will be making another video about the astrology that's to come. This was all just regarding the new moon in Leo that's going to take place on the 4th and 5th of August. So look forward to having some things come to light, some things on full display, and really staying flexible and allowing yourself to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes.